Today we're going to review the chapter 1 of Paul Hindemith on the rhythm notes. So I would like to start. Let me just review the rhythm notes first. Now we'll go to the chapter 1 of Paul Hindemith. So the whole note is the semi-breve. The whole rest, it's located below the fourth line, 1, 2, 3, 4 line. I can augment this part here. See, this is the whole rest, is 1, 2, 3, 4. Below the fourth line on the musical staff, that's the whole rest. Half a rest, sorry, half a note or minimum. The half rest is above the third line, 1, 2, 3, above the third line. That's the half a rest. Half a rest and the whole note, whole rest, they're located on the third space, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But the onset of the half rest is above the third line, and the whole rest is below the fourth line. I have to have the chord note or the semínima, chord rest, or pausa da mínima. Semínima, I mean, semínima, chord rest, chord note, chord rest, half a note, eighth note, eighth rest, or colcheia, eighth note, eighth rest, eighth note, eighth rest. Sixteenth rest, sorry, 16th note, 16th rest. 16th note, 16th rest. Regarding the duration, we're going to use the metronome equal of 60. So one whole note is the double of the half a note. This means in the rhythm that the half a note is going to be the double of the speed from the whole note, like this. And the referential is going to be the chord note. We're going to have a chord note here. As a referential for all the rhythms, okay? This referential. Ta, ta. This is a chord note. Again from the beginning, so yeah. Ta, 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 ta. So ta, 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 ta. Now let me just add the eighth note without the eighth rest. So ta 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 ta. So ta 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 ta. Let's add all the 16th here without the rest. I just put random pitch notes here, okay? It's just for the sake of the rhythm. So ta 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 ta. So ta 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 ta. Let's add the chord note here. So ta 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 ta. And the eighth note of the crochet, ta 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 ta. the chord note or semi-minor. Ta, 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 the minima. Ta, the semi-breve or the whole note. Ta, 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 ta. Let's go from here. Ta, 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 ta. We are going until the 16th note, okay? So now we go to the Paul Hindemith. This is on the file of your course. This is page 28. We're going to start with exercise 9. So here is the chord note. This is half a note. So here is half a note. Half a note. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you can sing the notes or you can play on the instrument that of your choice. I'm going to use here my choice as a kalinka. Kalinka. Going to choose that. I'm going to add here the metronome equal of 60. Kalinka. From the exercise 9, letter A. So you can tap or you can stamp with your feet, but here you want to hear, so therefore I use the metronome. So now let's see letter B. I missed that second line. I messed up, sorry. Second line. You can sing or you can play with your favorite instrument. Could be a flute. Kalinka does not hold the full 4 chord notes. Faded before. But anyway, that is exercise 9. We're going to backwards. Now let's go to the previous one. I'd like to start with exercise number 2 from the chapter 1. So we are going to say while you hold those like ta, 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 ta. So each I is from one chord note, so ta, ta, and here have these two extra on the bottom, on the referential, the chord note or seminima. We don't say because it's rest, it's pause. So here, ta, 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 ta. Okay. So what you do, you're going to record all this and send to me, please. Let us see. So rest to rest. So we don't say anything. So ta 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 ta. Now we are going to work just the rhythm notes, not the pitch notes. So we're going to write the name of the rhythm note. So whole note, so you write whole note, this is whole rest. Let me augment it here. Okay. So those are whole note. This is one abbreviation. That's to play the 64th note. But here, so just write whole note, all the rhythm, whole rest, whole note, etc., etc. This is chord note, 3 chord notes and 1 chord rest, 3 chord notes and 1 chord rest, half a rest, 2 chord rest, chord note, chord note, chord rest, chord note, chord rest, chord note, chord rest, chord note, etc. And go. Those scales play on the 8th note. And this is the format. We have this on the Art of Playing Piano by Muzio Clementi, the prefacing. 8th note, 16th note, quarter note, 8th note, 16th note, quarter note, etc. It's called the marcato, this accent on the quarter note. Okay, now let's listen. Let me put here for us to listen the Carnival of the Animals. I did not lose it. I see. We are going to listen and look at the same time on the score. Okay, but here.
Nearly 100 years ago, a French composer named Saint-Saens wrote a wonderfully witty musical fantasy called The Carnival of the Animals. His music describes many of the animals in this zoo. That's why we're here. So join me along with the whimsical verse of Ogden Nash, the Mormon Youth Symphony, and a whole zoo full of animals for the Carnival of the Animals.
The Carnival of the Animals, starring Gary Burghoff, featuring the music of Camille Saint-Saens, the verse of Ogden Nash, and the Mormon Youth Symphony.
Camille Saint-Saens was racked with pains when people addressed him as Saint-Saens. He held the human race to blame because it could not pronounce his name. So he turned with metronome and fife to glorify other forms of life. Be quiet, please, for here begins his salute to feathers, fur, and fins. The lion is the king of beasts and husband of the lioness. Gazelles and things on which he feasts address him as your highness. There are those who admire that roar of his in the African jungles and velds. But I think wherever the lion is, I'd rather be somewhere else.
The rooster is a roistering hoodlum. His battle cry is cock-a-doodlum. Hands in pockets, cap over eye, he whistles at pullets passing by. Have you ever harked to the jackass wild, which scientists call the onager? It sounds like the laugh of a child or a hepcat on a harmonica. But do not sneer at the jackass wild. There's a method to his hee-haw. For with maidenly blush and accent mild, the answers she-haw.
Come crown my brow with leaves of myrtle. I know the tortoise is a turtle. Come carve my name in stone immortal. I know the tortoise is a turtle. I know to my profound despair, I bet on one to beat a hare. I also know I'm now a pauper because of his turtly torpor. Elephants are useful friends, equipped with handles at both ends. They have a wrinkled, moth-proof hide. Their teeth are upside down outside. If you think the elephant preposterous, you've probably never seen a rhinoceros. The kangaroo can jump incredible. He has to jump because he's edible. I could not eat a kangaroo, but many fine Australians do. Those with cookbooks as well as boomerangs prefer him in tasty kangaroo meringues.
Some fish are minnows, some are whales. People like dimples, fish like scales. Some fish are slim, some are round. They don't get cold, they don't get drowned. But every fishwife fears for her fish. What we call mermaids, they call merfish.
In the world of mules, there are no rules. Cuckoos live bohemian lives. They fail as husbands and as wives. Therefore, they cynically disparage everybody else's marriage. Puccini was Latin and Wagner Teutonic, and birds are incurably philharmonic. Suburban yards and rural vistas are filled with avian Andrew sisters. The skylark sings a rondelay, the crow sings the road to Mandalay, the nightingale sings a lullaby, and the seagull sings a gulliby. That's what shepherds listened to in Arcadia before someone invented the radio. Well, hello. Some claim that pianists are human and quote the case of Mr. Truman. Saint-Saens, upon the other hand, considered them a scurvy band. Ape-like they are, he said, and simian, instead of normal men and women.
At midnight in the museum hall, the fossils gathered for a ball. There were no drums or saxophones, but just the clatter of their bones. A rolling, rattling, carefree circus of mammoth polkas and mazurkas. Pterodactyls and brontosauruses sang ghostly prehistoric choruses. Amid the mastodonic wassail, I caught the eye of one small fossil. "Cheer up, sad world," he said, and winked. "It's kind of fun to be extinct."
The swan can swim while sitting down.
For pure conceit, he takes the crown. He looks in the mirror over and over and claims to have never heard of Pavlova. Now we reach the grand finale, Animale Carnivale. Noises new to sea and land issue from a skillful band. All the strings contort their features, imitating crawly creatures. All the brasses look like mumps from blowing oompa, oompa, umps. In outdoing Barnum and Bailey and Ringling, Saint-Saens has done a miraculous thingling.
So some questions to be answered. How many cellos, how many basses, how many violins, how many violas are playing in this concerto? How many xylophone, how many, let me see. If there is any oboe, if there is any French horn, you add. If there is not, you don't add. And what was recording this music? So you can see here right in the end. Okay. Before you finish, just to write down the rhythm notes. There is just one movement on the cuco. Let me find it here. Okay, so if you can recognize Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the can here, you let me know. And what movement? Here. That's the clarinet. How many different pitch notes the clarinet plays on this movement here? Those are the notes. It's written D5 and B flat 4, but sounds at C and A flat on the concert C. How many different pitch notes the clarinet plays on this movement? It's number 9 on the printed page 25. The cuckoo. So how many different pitch notes clarinet plays? Just the clarinet, okay? Just the clarinet. How many different? And finish it here. Thank you.